What is happening, Internet? Welcome back to Batman Arkham City, not sponsored by Ubisoft. That needs to go away. Okay. So, tonight you guys voted for Frank Miller, so you get Frank Miller. And over in the polls section, you guys can choose what you want. And it looks like it's a tough battle between Batman and Fortnite. That's, that's interesting. Jiu-Jitsu is going to happen tomorrow, so even if Jiu-Jitsu doesn't happen tonight, you guys have the option of having it tonight. Another code, you have an option of doing that, but Prince of Persia really hurt the channel. It was an amazing storyline, so much better than... I really forgot that there are video games... No, you know what? I scratched that. I forgot that there are some Western games that actually have good storytelling. Like, no, you know, it's just... Wow, I wasn't counting on it. I was kind of like, oh, okay, what? That's a twist I didn't see coming. And I liked it. I mean, it was cool. And also, like, they pretty much... They did this thing where everything that Sargon went through, even that thing, like, if you go back in time, someone has to die to take the prince's place. And the person who died was the girl. Like, everything matched up with what we went through so far. You know, with the time travel and the cost of time travel and everything. It's like, the people who wrote Suicide Squad, they can't do that because they're not capable of it. They're incompetent. But whoever wrote the...
Let's make this quick.
The Prince of Persia game, I mean, that is just major props. Like, that's impressive. And I know, of course, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be really good, like, story-wise, but that was written by Japan. Just like Tekken's story was amazing. Tekken 8's story was so good. But that, you know, that's a Japanese developer. That's expected. They know how to write. My faith in good storytelling for Western game developers is restored, but, you know, the game wasn't made in America. It was made in France. So... Western, I use that as a much bigger, broader term now, but usually I, you know, refer to Americans, but, yeah, Ubisoft did a credible job with the storytelling. You know, I'm sad that we didn't get back to the game, but, you know, we came to a point last time where I was stuck. Like, I couldn't see a way forward through the puzzle, so I was like, oh man, how am I going to get past this? So I wasn't really upset that... In fact, I was kind of like, well, the series is done because I'm never going to figure out how to do this puzzle and people are just going to make fun of me. But not only that, but I beat Menelitis. I progressed the story. I have the grappling hook, so I know exactly where to go and what to do now. So I will be able to finish the game. Like, I'm not going to be stuck anymore because I know where we're supposed to go next is the winter area. Because that's where all the grappling points are. You have to go fight King Darius. Probably find out more about the big spoiler that happened. And, you know, there'll be more time travel, probably. I'm excited. I hope that they're able to get 1,000 views for the next episode, because I would love to do it tomorrow or sometime this week. That'd be great. Yep. As far as I know, there's no Ultimate tonight, because I talked to some Ultimates, and nobody said anything for tonight. Tomorrow, there is an Ultimate, and that's Lunar for our top donator, Alex. But how you guys can help is make sure you guys smash that like button so we can get the views up. Whoops. What just happened? Oh, I lost my combo. That's what happened. Is it just me or is the music not working? I don't hear anything. I hear nothing. Which is fine. I mean, maybe I won't get copyrighted. I've been getting copyrighted a lot in this game. So people are like, what is happening after you do Arkham City, after you 100% that? What are you doing? Well, after I do that, then obviously... Or, I'm not going to 100% this. I'm going to, like, 99% this. Because I can't do the, There's one back grapple move I can't do, which is super complex. It's a line launcher technique. So after I do basically 99% of all Batman, I'm going to go to Arkham Asylum and I'm going to do the challenge maps for Batman and Joker. Because I've never finished those with the medals yet. So, I don't know. I just kind of want to beat Arkham videos with, like, the most coverage of this game, as well as most coverage of Arkham, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. Like, I don't know. Even though my videos aren't better than his, I just want to be like, hey, yo, dude, AV. You don't have the record for most walkthrough videos anymore. I do. Yay. I just want to razz him a little bit. Because he's my friend, so. I just want to tease him a little bit. I've asked him for his comments on Suicide Squad, and he's just kind of like, well, I like the gameplay. I said, and? He's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm already moving on to the next game. I've got a shooter coming out on my other channel. It's like, so you're done? He says, well, pretty much. I just have to post the chapter by chapter. And he also says, it's kind of surprising they're not really getting views. He said, well, the game's kind of dropped off the face of the earth after all the influencers looked at the game. That's kind of it. I was looking at the ranking for Suicide Squad on Twitch. It's like, when it first came out, it was kind of in the middle of Twitch's searches for people watching. There was about 90,000 people watching all over Twitch for Suicide Squad. That's now, I thought I saw it said 25,000 people are watching on Twitch for Suicide Squad. So it had a huge, substantial drop. What's more amazing to me is 500,000 people are watching things like Tekken, and that Pal World thing is just, that fake Pokemon game is destroying everything on Twitch and YouTube gaming. Like, so many people are watching that. And I had fun with that game, it's interesting, but I don't know, when people told me Nintendo's going to do something about that game, I was like, I don't want to do a lot of videos on that. I don't want my channel taken down by Nintendo, they already have me blacklisted. I can never ever get a Nintendo game sent to me ever again, except through Lucius Fox, my supplier. I will never ever get a game from Nintendo. Never happen. Just like I'll never get a game from Warner Brothers, I have to go through Lucius Fox. Whoop. Which is totally legal, mind you. It's just a different way of doing stuff. I do have game partners, but I also have suppliers. I know, that does sound shady, doesn't it? I'm like Phoenix Wright in the Apollo Justice games. It's, you know, it's a little shady, but it's still totally legal. It's a gray area.
You don't stand a chance against us.
Whee! Kicking butt, taking names, all over the place. What's going on? I'm just trying to go for 100,000 because I've already done this. Like, just give me my medals. Thank you. Break. Give me a break. Oh, I missed. I got 100,000. Let's go. But yeah, it was honestly between the Ace Attorney thing today, which again is Japanese and it's an older game, and the Prince of Persia stuff, we've had great storytelling. And of course, you know, if we played through the Arkham games again, that has superb storytelling too. But we're just doing challenge maps. Boink! And that's all that's left to do. So did my gamble work? Oh, thank God. Okay. Oh, that was touch and go for a moment there. That was scary.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to make a statement that even if you get the length, you can't have two.
Yeah, I know. It was the Prince of Persia hurt the channel a lot. So we have 70 likes, guys, in the first 8 minutes. You're doing fantastic. Let's keep that push up. We're gonna go do a Predator thingy, armor, whatever this is. Armor piercing, bringing down the roof, all that fun stuff. Hooray. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are by miracle able to get the Prince of Persia up to 1,000 views before the weekend, I would love to do it Wednesday or something. But I don't know if that'll happen. We shall see. Dark Knight. No parents. 9:30 will be, what Predator map am I on? What is this? This one? Meltdown! Call it Mayhem, actually. Mayhem Extreme. Bow, 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 bow. Well, I mean, it's not that I can't handle the death of the Suicide Squad. That's not why it's bad writing. I can explain. Nobody is arguing that the death of the Justice League is the problem with the game. It's how the Justice League dies is the problem. The disrespect, the terrible writing. Here's a big example. In today's episode that aired on the O1 channel, we had the introduction of Toyman, who was a super fan of The Flash. Now, I'm going to be a little spoilers for this, but, I mean, the game's been out for over a week, so I'm going to talk about this, because I'll just show you the difference between good writing and bad writing, or sloppy writing. So, we have Toyman, who is basically used by Amanda Waller and all this other stuff to make, like, this device from Luthor Tech to pretty much make it so that they can defeat the Flash. Now, they lie to the little kid and say, yeah, we're just going to stop the Flash. In reality, they plan on killing him. After they kill the Flash, you go back to the Hall of Justice to talk to Hero, the Toyman, and he brings up nothing about the Flash's death. In fact, nobody congratulates you or says anything about the Flash's death to you. The only person who actually mourns the Flash is Lois Lane with this really weird report, how she does like an expose or a mini like documentary obituary for him, and that is the only character other than the supervillains that acknowledges the Flash's death and the, you know, the Brainiac villains. That's it. A good writer, what they would have done, this is the difference between sloppy, terribly poor written, Sweet Baby Incorporated nonsense and an actual writer who understands both character development, character consequences, and all that important stuff about being a writer. All they would have had to do was have, like, when you go and talk to Hero, him being upset that you used his technology to kill the Flash. Doesn't have to be a big cutscene. It doesn't have to be a long cutscene. It just needs to have some type of connection to the events that happened previously. They gloss over it completely. That would be like in Arkham Knight, after Oracle is shot in the head, that Batman and Alfred and nobody talks about it other than that it just happened and you move on as a player. They don't talk about it. But what happens immediately after? Alfred calls, and then Bruce says, I failed her. She's dead, Alfred. He acknowledges that it happened to another character. And then this goes from, like, don't hide this from Tim. This becomes an important part of the plot. They completely gloss over every death in the Suicide Squad. It has no substance. It has no value. It has no worth. It's just a mission. That's bad writing. Is my game volume on? Yeah.
Let's see how you microscopically brain automatons perform.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the difference. Like, you can tell that these people, they don't know how to write. And the fact with them clapping back on fans on Twitter before they basically hid their Twitters and they privated them, they were saying, the writers were saying nasty stuff all week. Like, they're not good people. Also, they don't know how to write, so when people were challenging them based on their poor writing, they played victim and they hid their Twitter. Even though they were like actually assaulting or insulting people and attacking fans, they then ran and scurried and played the victim like, oh no, these people don't like what I did in the story. They're being so misogynistic and blah 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 because they're female feminists. Whatever.
Get over and find out who's screaming. Time to die. I got him. He's over here.
Yeah, typical. No, they're militant feminists. They're not just like regular nice feminists. They're militant.
Think again.
But I mean, that's the thing. I even call it out in a later episode. I'm like, so the only person that mourns the Flash and mentions anything that happened is Lois Lane, and that's what she does when every Justice League member is killed. She does this little expose, and that's it. That's the only connection you have to the previous mission. No one else talks about it at all. It's like it never happened. It was just kind of a mission. It was like, good job, you killed the Flash. Here's an upgrade. Move on to the next mission. Then the next one. Then the next one. You know, and it basically, it hollows out the world. It makes the world just so empty and plain and boring. You know, the whole point of the game is basically being a looter shooter anyway. Like, your whole thing is you're just supposed to go through and, you know, collect loot and play online with your friends. The story is secondary. The story doesn't have any gravitas to it. It's just kind of, it's like a fast food meal. It's not good, It's not great, it's just there. And that's the whole point of the story for them. Is they don't really, you know, they don't pay attention to anything.
Okay, Riddler.
And that just shows they're a novice at being a writer. They don't know, they don't care. They think they're an amazing writer, but are they in league with Paul Dini or Sefton Hill? No, not at all. Not remotely close. I would even say that the people they hire to write grocery store comic books are better. And those grocery store comic books are never very good either. Like, but, I mean, they're miles better than the Suicide Squad writing. That's just facts. Alright, that dude's done.
Someone get over there!
Whoops!
What?
Aye!
Over here, I got him!
Over here, I got him.
Oh, actually, I was listening to. I can talk about. I don't know. I was listening to a point that Salvage made on his channel today. He had a video went up. He and Slickmoff were talking about something.
Yeah.
He was talking about. I can talk about it.
So I mean that's the big problem that a lot of people have with the Suicide Squad is it's a story.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I found it kind of interesting. I was listening to it. Salvage and Slickmoff were talking on their video today on Salvage's channel, and Salvage had an interesting point about Deadshot and how he had an idea that they could have done, like, because they used that fear all the time where he was always afraid of closed spaces. He said that really hardly any of the characters had character development in the game, and that they could have used that fear of closed spaces. He could have kind of gotten over his fear throughout the course of the game, or he could have progressed it somehow. They could have actually used that.
Yeah, it just comes up once and then it's never brought up again.
They could have had that for character development. He was like, that's just one of the ideas of something they could have actually done to have character growth for any of the characters, but they didn't do any of that. It was just no character growth whatsoever, no progression of the characters. It just, like, it was just dumb.
It came from over
I
here.
thought that was
I'm
an
sure of it.
interesting point that he made. I mean, that he actually took an example of something, you know, trying to give them an idea of something they could have done.
Well, I mean, that's
To
not
make
the only
story
thing. Like,
interesting.
one of the biggest things I had wrong with the story, when a Green Lantern dies, what's supposed to happen is the ring flies off to the next worthy user. This is kind of a spoiler, so if you guys haven't gotten that far, but basically King Shark takes off Green Lantern's ring after he pries it off his bony finger, like he rips off John's finger, and then magically the Green Lantern ring works. And not only that, but they're saying that Shark is able to use the will of the Lanterns in order to make, like, these massive constructs. Just because you're a big guy, it doesn't mean that you can actually make constructs your first time using the ring. You actually have to go to training on Oa and all this other stuff. So the writers, the two ladies who have no idea what they're doing, they made King Shark transform into a Green Lantern as soon as he put the ring on. And the ring didn't choose him. He forced the ring on. That's not how it works. In fact, even after the ring goes off the Shark, they could have actually redeemed themselves by, instead of the ring falling in the ocean and becoming completely innate, it should have flown out of the ocean and into space.
Yeah,
They would have easily been able to fix that scene if the ring just would have flown off into space after leaving Shark's finger to go find another user. Does it? No. It sinks to the bottom of the Metropolis Bay. That's bad writing. They don't know anything about these characters that they're writing, and they don't care. That's the thing. They don't care about these characters at all. They treat it as a job, and then when people challenge them on that, then they play the victim. They don't know, nor... Even, this is the thing. It would take 5 seconds to go to Wikipedia and find out what happens when a Green Lantern dies. It's not like, oh, I don't read comic books, I don't watch the movies. 5 seconds to research on Wikipedia. And Wikipedia is not a good, place to take all of your ideas, but it's a good synopsis. And it just takes 5 seconds of research. They did no research. Do you understand? And they did that throughout the game. Constantly throughout the game, they did that. That's why they are bad writers. So I do call the people defending the writer shills because they don't know what good writing is. They've never experienced it.
Yeah. You were saying, like, something about how it wasn't that the Justice League dies, it's the way that they die.
It's the way the Justice League dies,
and,
yes.
Ahmed was saying exactly, Luke.
Also, when they kill the Green Lantern, just to, you know, dump on him more because he's a man, when Wonder Woman, she dies, she vaporizes. She has, like, a hero's death. Everybody is sad about it. Like, literally, when Green Lantern dies and they take off his ring, he's sitting there in his underwear. And Diana is so upset. She's like, John is so disgraced now. He's lying here dead in his underwear. And the squad is just kind of like, oh, you know, after he's dead, they're just kind of talking about, like, life in general. They're like, yeah, we killed this guy. We're just kind of hanging out and just, you know, chewing the fat, talking about non-stuff. Literally, the corpse of the Green Lantern's, like, right there at their feet. It's so poorly, like, put together. Like, it really feels like they just kind of had, like, a dartboard on the wall, and they're just throwing darts at how to put their story plots together. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not cohesive at all. It's, like, all over the place. It's like Arkham Origins has Swiss cheese problems with its canon, like, when you try to connect it to the later games, but at least it was a concise storyline from beginning to end. Suicide Squad is kind of like a roller coaster of insanity that really, it will start something, but it creates more plot holes than I've ever seen in an Arkhamverse game. More holes than Blackgate. And they will never be smart enough to figure out how to fix that. Ever. Yeah, you can switch my controller. I realize this one's dying. Yeah, it's constant nonsense. The important thing about the Suicide Squad is the fact that it has good gameplay. But its storytelling was written by a 4-year-old. A very slow 4-year-old. Yeah, because they didn't even bother the research. And I mean, it's not hard to call these people out. You could literally, one of the arguments I saw with one of these ladies on Twitter before she privated her account, some person challenged her, like a reviewer, and said, this thing about the Green Lantern, it's like, how did you not know this? And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Green Lantern. I wouldn't know that the ring flies off. And it's like, you can't go to Wikipedia for 5 seconds? Crazy broad.
You wouldn't need to be a fan. You need to be good at your job.
You just need to research. Like, there's so much research material available. Like, it's not hard. It's not like we live in a day and age where you have to bust open a comic book to find out, like, just a basic, like, structure of a superhero. You can easily find that in 5 seconds on Google.
But if you're writing a story with the characters, you should actually know more about the characters than the fans. Because you're literally in charge of writing stories.
Yeah, that's why I agree with you. I think that these writers need to take a test to prove they're not idiots when they're being handled the keys to, like, these, you know, rich characters because they have no idea what they're doing.
You should have to take a basic Green Lantern quiz. Like, what types of lanterns are there? What are the Guardians called?
What type of person needs to be able to use a Green Lantern ring?
Yeah.
Understand?
Recite the Green Lantern oath, write it out.
Yeah, they even got... It was funny that King Shark got the line wrong, but I honestly think that, you know, they didn't want to finish the right phrasing for the lantern thing. There's just so many problems that, like, the more I played the story, I was just kind of like, ugh. And the Batcave scene was last night, and that really ticked me off. I hated the fact that it shows that the writers and basically most people playing the game have, like, a attention span of that of a TikToker. And just, like, burning through all that dialogue of Kevin's Batman and calling it, oh, he just goes on and on and on, ha ha ha, we're just going to keep skipping through it. And it's like, if they did it once, it'd be fine. But they're constantly going through, like, all his rich dialogue.
That would be like if Stan Lee got
You
a
too?
job, or
God,
he was
wake
working
up!
at Marvel, and they were like, okay, I want you to write a comic for this character. And Stan Lee didn't do any research on the previous comics of that character at all. And someone was like, oh yeah, you got this thing about the character wrong, Stan. And he was like, I'm sorry I'm not a fan of this character. It's like,
Shut the
it's
hell
your
up!
job to
We
write
need
the
to keep
comics.
looking
Yeah,
at
that's what they don't understand. It's like... And then what I love is they make these mistakes for themselves. They're, you know, not aware that they're mistakes. And then, well, actually, no, they're aware. They don't care. And then when somebody actually calls them out, they're like, why is this person picking on me? I just made this game for the fans.
but
It's like, did
You
you?
made it for yourself.
Because those bios that you wrote for the Suicide Squad Justice League members doesn't look like you wrote that for yourself or for fans. That looks like you wrote your interpretation of these characters.
Yeah.
Calling Green Lantern a narc and all this narcissistic stuff they say about Batman in his bio, and the overpraise of Wonder Woman for creating a utopia and a non-toxic masculinity society and all this bullcrap. It's like, my gosh. It's like, you can't call yourself a victim and then go and attack people. That's not how it works.
Well, actually, it's not exactly true, because that's where Wonder Woman came from, was Themyscira.
Yep.
But that's not actually where she chooses to live. She chooses to live with humanity.
Yep.
So she actually doesn't prefer to live in a, quote, all-women area. She likes to work with men and women together. That was the whole point of her character.
Yep. She's there to help the world of man. That's her job.
It would be the opposite of feminism, is what she's for humanity in general.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what they don't understand about her character.
I have a video coming out this week called Why Suicide Squad Failed. And I go over the story and just like, hopefully people with, you know, some type of brain cells will be able to understand what I'm talking about. Because I use very small words, but I literally point out the Green Lantern thing. I point out the Flash thing. I point out Batman constantly talking. I point out so many just issues with the game. And just like a lot of the writers' inputs, I show the writers' Twitter, but I like, you know, take off their face and their name so people can't go bother them. But I'm going to use the writers' own words against them. So, like, yeah. Because, I mean, they said those things. They said the thing about Green Lantern, they said all the other stuff. So I've blacked out the writer's name, and I've blacked out their picture on Twitter, but I'm using their words against them to prove that they're idiots. So, that's going to be a fun video.
Yeah, I mean, like, people should know the way that these people interact with fans and how they treat them. Because many people don't know how they act.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just, it's sad, it's dumb, but I mean, it's to be expected with these people. It's just what they do. They're creatures of habit. They do not change.
Thank you for the super chat. Roan Harushin says, companies avoiding hiring fans so they can just twist the lore. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it really needs to be, is they need to only hire people that know, like Luke was saying, like when he used to work at, you know, different game, you know, reviewing companies, you had to know.
You had to take a test.
You actually had to know certain things about pop culture and references. So you know, like,
Oh, I can tell this story. So one of the first publications I worked for, which was a very early like PS2 and Nintendo GameCube website, like they in the email they had a questionnaire and they would ask you questions. There was 10 questions that after, you know, you did, because I had no experience. I actually got in because of writing for GameFAQs and some of the like stuff I showed them about, like what my favorite game was. The people liked my answer. They also liked something else I said, but I had no degree. I had no writing experience other than, you know, doing GameFAQ stuff, which is writing walkthroughs and other things like that. And the guy before me, he had credentials. Like he went to college, he had a writing degree, and all this other stuff, but he didn't get the job. And I was asking the guy later on the phone, like, why did I get the job? It's like, the dude before me, didn't you say... Because, you know, he looked over my stuff, he's like, well, it's kind of a problem that you don't have, you know, you don't have a journalist degree. You don't even have, like, any type of writing that you took in college at all. And I was like, yeah, I know, but, you know, I have a passion for this. And basically, you know, I said, you know, I have a knowledge for this. I have an understanding of how to do this. You know, I come at this from a different point of view. I am a gamer. I'm not just, like, trying to use this to get into other journalist jobs. And, you know, the dude was like, he says, well, yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Luke. Like, what you did, you basically, you know, you sold yourself because your personality is great and you're very knowledgeable. But he says the only reason we didn't hire the other guy is because he didn't know anything about gaming. Like, he failed the questionnaire. He says not only did he fail the questionnaire, but he legendary failed it. He got all 10 questions wrong. Even the ones about Super Mario. He says, which any child from the 80s would know that. And I was like, well, how did he get Mario wrong? They said, well, you asked him, like, what power-up did Mario use? A mushroom? Did he use, like, a magic whistle and, like, all this other stuff to grow? And the guy chose, like, some type of whistle for how Mario, like, you know, enlarges himself. Like, how he, you know, how he grows big.
Just you guys?
And, like, they were laughing in the staff room because they were just like, this dude, like, probably has, like, all the right stuff, but his heart is in the wrong place. He's not a gamer. So we don't want someone who actually doesn't know anything about video games because it's going to reflect poorly on our company eventually. Like, they'll call us, like, fakes or, you know, fake gaming company or whatever. And that was during the rise of, like, gaming publications, like small ones starting up in 2004. So I just got the job based on my knowledge of video games. I didn't have the experience. I got the experience from that job, and then I used that experience to go to another one. But I have no journalist degree. Eventually, we were told by a company we worked with that I needed to go and get a license. So what I did is I went to a town hall in Boston, and Amber and I both got registered as United States Press, like through like legal means. I still have no journalist degree. I have a license or credentials to be a journalist now. I've had it for like 14 years, but when I first started out, you know, I was just kind of under the umbrella of whatever publication I was working for. But like, I still have that thing that I went to the town or the mayor's office in Boston.
Yeah, Joseph West says all of these characters' origins can be Googled. Yeah, exactly, Joseph. Yeah, it's not hard to. I mean, I look up stuff all the time when I don't know what I'm doing. Like I was just. I mean, I'm the queen of not knowing what in the world I'm doing all the time because. Half the time, I'm covering a game that Luke remembers from the 80s that I never played, and I'm sitting here trying to think of something to talk about, so I start looking up the origin. I'm always looking up origins for different characters on the fly, on streams. I mean, if I can do it, surely the people that wrote these games could figure it out. And it doesn't take me too long, because you just type it in and you're able to find, you know, certain... Usually there's fan websites about these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fans make websites about them, and they write all kinds of stuff, and it's very clearly written. You know, this person grew up in... I off the top of my head, let's see, Green Lantern, Jon Stewart grew up in Detroit, I think. At one point, I knew for the Justice League series he was a Marine, but that at some point they changed his origin story to include he was also...
In the 70s, he was an architect.
He was also an architect or something, yeah.
He was an architect in the 1970s, and he had... The difference between him and Hal Jordan in the 70s is John had a temper. So they didn't want to, when they were writing Jon Stewart for the DCAU, like when, you know, Dwayne McDuffie and all these other people were coming in to write John, they wanted to incorporate, like, just like they did with, some other characters, like the Flash is a fusion of Barry and Wally. Like,
yeah.
Like, even though he's Wally West, they fuse Barry and Wally into one character, just like they fused Tim and Jason into one character for the Timverse. So what they did is they took Hal, and they took Jon Stewart, and they fused them.
Yeah.
So that's... But they made Jon Stewart more strict, like Marine. Because remember, Hal was Air Force. And so the Marines are like, they're much more formal, right? It's like the few, the proud, the Marines. So when they were orchestrating John's character for the DCAU, they really wanted to bring that toughness of the Marine, and they really didn't focus on too much of where he came from. So he didn't really have the anger of the streets anymore, because that was a personality trait they didn't want to showcase. They wanted it to...
Because it was for the cartoon show.
Right, and also
they didn't want it to be as
they
dark.
wanted to have John to have the military discipline. Because that was an important part of his character.
And they were focusing on him on being like a good example, like to younger audiences and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep.
But also, they did show him trying to be a good example in his neighborhood and for like kids and stuff, and playing basketball with them and stuff.
Yep.
So that was kind of neat.
While standing on a ledge directly above the target. Oh, this one. Perform an inverted takedown. Oh, I messed up already. Oh, I might be able to pull this off.
Don't let that upset you, though.
Oh, wow.
You know what, I think that they should have made these... I think they should have made these people that wrote the game, I think they should have made them. If they really...
There's someone stuck
because
up here. Get over
there's
here.
one thing that made me have to research characters, and it's having to be live in
What are
front
you
of an
doing up
audience and having to
Help
talk
me.
about
Cut me down.
characters. And if I don't know what I'm talking about, people are gonna call me out on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should have made the people that wrote the Suicide
Making us
Squad.
look
I think they
stupid. How's
should
he
have made them
doing
do
it?
a live
Leave
stream
him. Got more
in
important things
front
to
of
be
a
looking
bunch
out
of
for.
gamers
This ain't
and
gonna work,
comic
you know.
book fans,
We'll find
like
you and kill
talking
you.
about the comic book characters and what they liked about their origin story. And then they would have to talk about it live.
Even
and
I expected
if
more
they
than
didn't know what
this.
they were talking
Not
about,
much
they
more,
would have
granted,
not.
but
like,
still, more intellectual prowess than you are currently
they wouldn't
showing.
have-
What? How did he see me? Look at him freaking out like that. How in the world did he see me? That's glitched. That's not fair. That's not fair. So, but I mean, it's hard for me. I've seen the argument online. People are saying, well, John is still alive. That's why the ring didn't fall off. He has a hole in the middle of his forehead. It's not just like a little bullet hole. Have you seen the size of Deadshot's, like, cannons? He puts a hole in John's head, point blank. I don't care what kind of fantasy you believe in. That is a dead man shot. That is a headshot. There's even a pool of blood behind his head when you pan back. He didn't just shoot him in the chest. It's not like, oh, it's a possibility he's still alive. It's a clean kill to the face, dude. You can see the hole when Diana's by the corpse.
Yeah, Joseph says, yeah, I don't read the comics and I know their origins. Yeah, I mean everyone does. It's like anyone who's ever watched like that's
Edward
exactly
Nygma
the thing.
have constructed a cerebral
Joseph,
puzzle
like,
of such
it's
ingenuity
like these people that
that
wrote
I
the
fear you will die
the
here.
game. It's like they
Still,
haven't even been to a
don't cry.
DC. They've never even watched a DC movie or anything. Like, you would have to be living under a rock not to know some of these origin stories of some of the characters. Like, even if you don't read the comics, you would know. Like, even if you,
What happened to you? How come you're
like,
up there?
even if
Help
you
me.
somewhat
Help me
like hadn't heard from someone. I mean, if you were in the industry, it just doesn't make any
We're
sense.
dead. We're gonna die in here and there's
How
nothing we
they
can do
couldn't
about
know.
Shut the hell up. We need to keep looking or we're all dead. This isn't gonna work.
I'm just trying to do this very difficult thing.
And kill you.
Gotta wait for him to come out the door.
Even I expected more
What?
than this. Not much more, granted. But
Oh
still,
my gosh, this is just so irritating. Oh, I don't like this one. Yeah, but I've seen the argument online. People say, oh, he's alive. It's like, you're really alive if you have a huge gaping hole in the middle of your forehead?
But really,
How?
Luke, but really, think about it. Like,
You're
they're acting like it's so much work to figure out, to do a quick Google search of the origin stories of some characters.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine the game we were just playing with Ubisoft with the Persian Empire. They had to make sure all of their dates and all of the accurate information about the ancient Persians was correct.
Mm-hmm.
And,
over here,
you know,
there's someone
all
up
of their
there.
beliefs and their statues had to be accurate to, you know, those Persian bird
What happened to you?
statues, those
How come you're
the
up there?
special bird
Help me. Cut me
you know,
down.
deities and everything had to be exactly accurate in how it would have looked historically. Like, they do so much research when it happens to, like, a historical
This ain't gonna
game.
work, you know. We'll find you
Literally,
and
comic
kill
book
you.
research is nothing in comparison to that. You would have just had to do a very quick Google search. Honestly, all you would have had
That's
to
one
do
down to
was
you,
just
Batman.
read
Enjoy
all
the
these
feeling.
bios of
I
the
expect
characters
will be
from
the
the previous
last.
game. You know, like, I mean, well, they were adding new characters in, but really, you would just have to go to Wikipedia.
No! Oh, jeez!
Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't want to distract you, but I mean, it would be just a very quick Google search. Well, I officially am distracting you, so I'll go.
Yeah. Both Lantern and Bats get headshots, exactly, yeah. So they would be dead. Now, they could be clones, but,
Bring it on.
you know, they're probably going to backpedal and make them all clones so that they, you know, don't lose face. Because they're having legendary, whatchamacallit. But I'm still, like, I will defend to the death that the Suicide Squad writers are idiots. I have never seen writing this bad in my entire career.
Get over there.
And I played Blackgate. And Blackgate was, like, hair-pulling at times.
Get over here.
Suicide Squad is some of the worst amateurish writing I've seen from grade schoolers.
But even if they
What
make
happened to
them
you?
clowns,
How come you're up there?
like,
Help me.
think
Cut me
about
down.
it right now. Even if they made them clones, never in the
Making
dialogue
us look stupid. How's he
did
doing
any
it?
of the
Leave him. Become more important things to be looking
Suicide
out for.
Squad say
We're not
that they
scared of
knew
you.
they were clones.
Keep doing this crap and we'll
Like, they
fight
weren't
you.
like, oh, it's okay, we know it's not the real Green Lantern, it's just a clone. So that's why it's alright. They never
Do
said
not let him
anything like
scare
that.
you.
So clearly,
He uses a simple
Suicide
collection
Squad
of
members
theatrical
don't think
tricks
that
and
they're
pantomime
clones,
effects
so
to strike terror into your tiny lizard
their
brain.
horrific mistreatment of them, they are actually believing that those are, you know, the
Where the hell did he
actual...
get smoke from? How come we don't have smoke?
Give it to me. Give it to me. Thank you. Wow.
Well, anyways. I hope you have a good night.
Why are you leaving?
Because
Just because things get tense doesn't mean you need to leave. I'm just trying to get medals.
because I'm not helping at all, and I was just here to help, and I'm
You
not
are
obviously
helping.
helping.
You are
at all.
helping. I got my medals. Now I just have to take them down.
And I have to get up extremely early in the morning.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you scared?
I'm not trying to leave, I just...
Wait, that was the dial guy? No! Oh, gosh. Yeah, that was the dial guy again. Give you all-star Batman writing over the Suicide Squad? Yeah. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Hello. What? I notice you. You've got a cute little red shirt on with the little hearts on. It's adorable. I'm just trying to do medals.
You're
The
going
medals are not
down.
going very well.
Arkham City is ours.
Maybe I can somehow convince these idiots to come in here later. I don't think them all going in at once is a smart idea.
Who's screaming?
Get over here! There's someone up there!
Okay, baby. Can you give Zelda her medicine?
This way! He went this way!
You're fine.
I see what you're doing. How are you gonna use those things if they're not here?
Come on, wake up! Damn it, he's out cold!
How's he keep doing this?
That's fine.
What's going on?
Leave him. Become more important things to be looking out for. Show yourself, chicken!
I know what you're doing, and it ain't gonna work.
Really? Wait, isn't there supposed to be a fire extinguisher nearby? There's no fire extinguisher.
Huh? I'm sure it came from over there.
No fire extinguisher. Well, I was gonna have fun with that.
Is that supposed to scare
That's
me?
the antenna guy.
Where the hell are you? I see what you're doing. How are you gonna use those things if they're not here?
I'm sure it came from over there! There you are, Bat!
Crap.
Get over here!
Oh, I thought I could do it. Oh!
What's wrong? Has your primitive brain given up and accepted that I, the Riddler,
Might have been a little too harsh on Gotham Knights. No, the only thing that Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad share in common is both of them had incompetent writers. But at least, like, Gotham Knights was like amateur hour at a writing contest. Suicide Squad was amateur hour at, like, 2nd grade. So, I mean, at least the writer had some research that they did with the Court of Owls and with the characterizations of, you know, they did do some stupid decisions, but they are better writers, which is hard for me to say, than the Suicide Squad people, because the writing for the Suicide Squad came from Sweet Baby Incorporated. They're bragging about it on Twitter. They brag about it on their website. They're responsible. This is one of the biggest games that they have ever done anything for the narrative, for the cutscenes, for the storyboarding, for the banter, as well as the characterizations of Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn. They did those.
I doubt you'll survive.
They
for
also
long,
wrote the
Batman.
bios that people hate.
A simple
That's
mistake
them.
will be all it takes.
No way am I gonna be the one who lets the bat get away again.
I mean, it's very easy to tell. It's like, you know, it's so simple to point it out. Oops. Joseph thinks the Suicide Squad was written by monkeys. You mean the old writer joke from the 90s where, like, there's a room filled with chimps on typewriters? And, like, whenever, especially old Tiny Toons episodes, and Animaniacs would be like, oh, the writers are at it again! And they go in the writing room and you see these monkeys, like, typing on typewriters and throwing, like, wadded up paper that's supposed to be, like, poo at people. And it just shows you that the writers, even back then, are idiots. It's kind of funny. The writer's room, you know, it's all chaos and they're all screeching at each other, yeah. That's an old joke. That's a funny joke.
What are you doing up there?
Blah.
Help me! Come down!
Wait, was that Antenna Boy again? Ouch. Oh, I messed up. Bullets! Bullets are bad!
What's wrong?
Monkeys would have been more coherent and cohesive. You're not wrong. Oh, gosh. So anyway, what skin do you guys want tonight? Batman won. Batman won easily, so let's end the poll. We're gonna do another poll. You guys chose Batman. Batman wins. New poll. What character? Robin. Catwoman. Batman always wins these polls. You want to know why? Because people watch Batman. People even watch me fail over and over and over and over and over again.
You want
I like
some?
Batman. Alright, there's your
Who
poll.
will destroy you,
New
Batman?
poll is now up.
I, Edward
You guys get to
Nygma,
choose
have
the 11 o'clock,
constructed a cerebral
11:30
puzzle
stream.
of such ingenuity
Nightwing, Armored
that I fear
Batman,
you will
Catwoman,
die.
not armored,
Anyone wants a piece
Carry
of-
Beyond.
Don't
Step up
cry.
and give it your best
Those
shot.
are your choices. Ladies and gentlemen, start your
I get
engines.
it. We'll stop the bat.
Yup, I hear you. We. Yep.
Arkham City is ours.
I missed my chance, didn't I? Yep.
You are all insects compared with I, the Riddler. Don't let that upset you, though. You were the best I could find.
Gotta wait again. Did the armored batsuit get added to the other version? No. No. Yeah, I've heard the theory that Flash and Green Lantern are still alive, but it's hard for me when, like... I thought it was weird that Green Lantern's ring didn't fly off, but literally he got shot. He has a big gaping hole in his forehead.
Who's screaming? Someone get over there!
And also, if the Justice League is clones, how was the Lasso of Truth able to have Barry snap back to normal? If he's a clone, it's not going to matter. He was always made evil. How in the world would he be normal for a brief instant? The Lasso of Truth, the Lasso of Hestia, compels you to tell the truth. How could a clone that's made evil by Brainiac have any type of, like, you know, free will? It could not. So how could it be a clone? I'm just saying.
Think he went.
Not that I expect Rocksteady to do their research for the Lasso of Truth, but
Did you enjoy that, Batman?
it's never worked on aliens,
Savor
nor has it
it.
ever worked on
next thing you
zombies
taste will
or
be
clones
WBT.
or anything. It only works on people. Humanoids.
Oh, God! Everyone, get your asses over here now! This is no good. He won't wake up.
Hi, Chad. How you doing? Just Chad. Alright, how are we gonna make these idiots do what I want them to
How are
do?
we gonna get out of here, man? Shut the hell up! We need to keep looking or we're all dead. Show yourself, chicken! What?
The hell is that thing? Why is it making that noise? I found one of Batman's toys. He's here.
Which way are you coming out? Why would he go out the other way? He ran in that way! Oh my gosh! I hate that takedown so much!
All night, Batman. You will still not defeat me.
Why wouldn't he run through the other door?
He's not on that one. What the hell are you doing? I nearly shot you.
You need to stay focused.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I would probably go back to my original patrol and go the other way. And go back the way I came.
Explosive set.
What in the world?
Oh, you want to hide in the dark? Good luck. He's not on that one. Where is he?
Mind in position. Priming now.
What the hell?
There, finally.
Where's he gone? Someone tell me where he is.
My gosh, that was super annoying. Finally, we have two.
Really?
We have two.
No one will miss him. All you've done is tell me you're here.
Ah, we have two.
I found another one.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so how's the poll going? Nightwing so far?
What happened?
Armored Batman, Nightwing.
Come on.
Alright. Ugh.
Doing this. What's going on?
I mean, let's give credit where credit's due, okay? Did we like the portrayal of the Court of Owls in Gotham Knights? No. But did they kind of act like the Court of Owls? Yes. They got the zombie stuff right, more or less. They messed up Jason Todd being afraid of DDR. That was stupid. But they mentioned that Jason was dead. He came back to life, you know? They talked about that stuff. They showed Nightwing having issues with leadership after Bruce is gone, blaming himself for not getting there in time, you know? Was there mischaracterization of some characters? Yes. Mr. Freeze was handled very poorly.
Don't you think you can hide
Barbara
the dark from
Gordon's
me?
comments, offhanded, you know, SJW comments about Mr. Freeze, unwarranted.
No one's on this one.
Typical, but, you know, at least it wasn't the entire game like Suicide Squad with Harley, you know? But for the most part, both games share a similar identity with the writing. You know, it's a product of the 2020s. But, yes, Gotham Knights, more or less, was handled better now that I'm mostly through the Suicide Squad.
Explosive set.
It's still not a good game, mind you, but it's better than nothing.
These things help
Is it
see
the
in
Bat
dark.
Family game we wanted?
Wherever you
No.
hide, I'll find you.
but it's better than nothing.
I can't see him.
At
He's
least
not on
I
that
can
one.
respect that they tried to do their research. They may have done some things I don't like with some of the, you know, ideology they tossed in there, some random stuff, but I feel that Nightwing is a good portrayal. Red Hood, more or less, is pretty good. Tim was okay. Barbara was okay when she wasn't yapping about useless stuff. And Alfred was spot on. They got some of the villains wrong, but, I mean, it is what it is. I never knew that Suicide Squad would fail as spectacularly as it had. I didn't even think it was possible, because they had a pretty simple formula they could follow with the storytelling, and they just completely gloss over all of it. I don't know why they did that. Well, no, I know why they did it. It was Sweet Baby Incorporated. But I still can't believe they glossed over all that stuff. That to me is just kind of crazy. Doesn't make sense to me. I can understand taking some free liberties with the characters, but like they didn't really add anything of value to the characters. Like the whole thing between Green Lantern and Deadshot felt so forced. It just didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like they were arch nemesis
You are
at all.
all experiencing fear.
It was just kind
An
of
emotion
weird.
experienced in anticipation of some
It was like so out of left field, you know.
This is perfectly understandable.
This cannot be happening.
What are you shooting?
What?
What?
Oh man, it was just one of Freeze's machines. I need to calm down here.
Blowing up Freeze's machine. Okay. Hey, can this actually hurt them?
Club hostage.
I haven't even checked that. What does this do? When that guy walks over here, will this kill him?
Four down.
Come on.
Disappointing.
Come on. Walk into this. I want to see what it does. Walk into this. Is this a takedown, or is this just strip your
What's
weapon
going on
away?
here? This is not good.
Come on, 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 come on. Oh, it just scares him. Oh wait, no, 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 no. That dude's gonna see you and shoot you. Okay, so all that does is take the weapon away. That's not really anything of value. That was close. Almost lost the hostage. Oh, all right. Yeah, that's still a forced thing, Ethan. Like, being locked up one time is enough to make Deadshot insane. It just felt so forced. It's like, I can understand if, like, Green Lantern was hounding him all the time, but he just arrested him once. That'd be like, being in jail for, I don't know, like, the one time Batman arrests you and you go crazy for just, like, one offense. I thought it was a much bigger deal than it was, but it wasn't.
Not good.
It's like, okay. They really should have used Bloodsport instead. But, oh well.
Stupid freaking machine.
We all know why they did what they did with Deadshot. It's not like it's a secret. They changed Deadshot because Will Smith was the actor. It's pretty easy to understand why they did that. But they should have just made it a different Deadshot. They didn't have to make it Floyd. They could have made it the guy who replaced Floyd. His apprentice, or his, what do they call it? His successor. Because there's been other Deadshots. But nope, Sweet Baby's got to do what Sweet Baby does. Whoop. Also, now that you guys have beat the game, I have a question. How did you guys feel about all the random sport references between Green Lantern and Deadshot? That felt awkward. I never understood why these companies, when they, you know, force inclusion, they have to include stereotypes for characters. Because Deadshot is supposed to be a character that is very, like, suave and sophisticated and rich. That's his alter ego. He's not like the Will Smith version of Deadshot that's just a mercenary for hire. He's a guy that, according to the Gotham Knights movie from back in 2008, he was a guy who you wouldn't really suspect him of being an assassin. He just seems like this high society guy, but he takes pleasure in killing people. That's his MO. Even the Arkham version of Deadshot's a little bit different than how he's supposed to be. Oh, is he the last one? Oh, okay. I'll finish this. What happens if I zap him? I'll just do it the old way. I mean, they could have easily... Like I said, you should have just made Deadshot, like this Floyd, a Floyd from another multiverse. The whole premise of the game is time... Or not time travel, excuse me. The whole thing about the game is parallel universes and, you know, infinite realities. They should have just dragged Deadshot from some Earth where Green Lantern mistakenly happened to go to, and then just do it like that. And then that would explain why he's so ticked at Green Lantern. Not only was he taken away from his daughter, he was stripped from his entire universe and can't get back there. I would hold a grudge and want the guy dead for something like that, because this isn't even my Earth. I would be ripped out of my, you know, place of origin. That would cause, like, sometime, yeah, I'm going to totally kill this guy because he ruined my life. I can never get back to my daughter. But no, they didn't do that. That would require some type of intelligence in their writing, which obviously we know they don't have. But that would have created, like, more of a dramatic conclusion to the Green Lantern and, you know, Deadshot thing. The boss fight was more exciting than their final confrontation. I love the boss fight. I thought that was kind of neat. I went about it the hard way, but I still beat him. That would require actual work. I love you, Joseph. You're right. That would require work. That would require talent. Where are we at? Rooftop. What I want to know is, like, why was everybody complaining about the Flash boss fight? What am I missing? Like, I was fighting the Flash a few days ago. I beat him on my first try. And I was just kind of... The funny thing is, I'm older than most of the people at IGN. Like, most of the people who were at IGN when I was in my 20s, they've all left the company and gone someplace. Destin is, like, one of the only ones left that's my age. And he's supposed to be really good at first-person shooters and third-person shooters. That's his whole thing. He loves Destiny. He loves, like, Doom and Halo and all this other stuff. And I know Destin all the way back from the Screw Attack days. Like, I am not good at third-person shooters. I beat the Flash on my first try. No problems. The only boss I struggled with was Green Lantern. That was it. Batman was no problem. Flash was no problem. Superman was no big. But, yeah, the Green Lantern one I kind of struggled with. I didn't die. I almost died. But I didn't die. I was playing as Deadshot, though, and I wasn't using, like... I probably should have used King Shark for that, but I was still playing as Deadshot, so... That's not true. I've known Destin. Destin was from Screw Attack. There are a couple employees from IGN that are actually from Screw Attack, OneUp.com. These are people that I knew back in the day. Destin, like, he would school me in Halo and all those other FPS games. Like, he is a... That's his bread and butter. He is a shooter gamer, or whatever you call it. FPS, No, I think it... not shoot 'em up. That's another genre. And I'm older than him. He's like... I believe Destin is like... I would be like 3 or 4 years his senpai. Like, if we were in Japan. Because I'm much older. I'm right around the same age as Craig, except... Yeah, no, I might be older than Craig, actually. I don't know. Because they were still going to college after I was done with college. Because I was done... When I met them, I was done with college by almost 2.5 years, and they were just finishing up college. And I graduated high school in the year 2000, so they graduated high school in the year 2000 and I want to say 2001, 2002. Ow. So, I mean, it was just funny to me because people call me old man and stuff all the time. Like, I saw my haters and detractors on my video. They're like, how's this guy able to, like, see? He's, like, blind. I beat the Flash the first time. No problem. It was easy. Barely an inconvenience. The most annoying thing about the Flash thing was the Flash wouldn't shut up. It was so annoying. So weird seeing Barry out of character. It was just like, he's just yelling all the time. I was making fun of him half the time. I made fun of IGN a little bit. I throw a little shade at IGN in that fight. But, because I was like, afterwards I was like, the Flash is almost dead. I'm like, he has another phase, right? He has another form, right? Because I don't understand what's wrong about this. You shoot him with the blue laser thingy, and then you shoot him in the face. It made it a lot easier with the jetpack. I just kind of, like, float around. Maybe people were trying to play as Captain Boomerang, because that's the character they recommend you play as? I don't know. They recommend you play as Deadshot for the Green Lantern boss, but I think Deadshot actually made that fight way harder. I've gone back and I've seen other people play the Deadshot, or not the Deadshot boss, excuse me. The Green Lantern boss, and they're using King Shark's chain machine gun and standing on top of a building to fight John. And they're just mowing down constructs like nothing. I was literally jetpacking around, shooting with my sniper rifle, taking down his construct, so I almost died. I think I had, like, it was a clutch victory. Like, John was just about ready to kill me, and then I would have had to start the fight all over again. And I got a well-aimed headshot, like, when he had just, like, a sliver. He had more than a sliver of health, but I got a nice headshot that was just, like, a shot in a million. And the fight was over, and I had, like, one hit left.
We're gonna rip you apart.
Wait. They're saying the original Deadshot is the multiverse one? Wow. That makes no sense. Gosh, I hate Sweet Baby Incorporated. They could have done something actually cool with Floyd, but all they did was decided to throw him in jail because... Wow, that's just stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. Man, what would Paul Dini think of that? He probably can't. Well, no, he's not going to say anything. I would. I'd be like, that's not how I wrote the character. I'd be, if I was Paul Dini, I'd be clapping back. Be like, yeah, no, that's not how I wrote Floyd. I would be like, as the original writer of Arkham, I don't acknowledge this. And I'd cause a huge rift with the fandom. I'd create a war just for fun. Be like, nah, that's not true. I never wrote Deadshot with him in mind to be a multiverse variant in the original Arkham games. He's based on the original Deadshot who's white. That's what I would say. And then I'd just sit back and watch the fireworks. Dog pile. Boink. Oh. Yeah, that actually makes it worse. I haven't actually gotten around to hearing all the bios yet. I didn't want to. I read the bios in one of the episodes. I think after Wonder Woman died is when I accidentally found the bios for the characters, and I was furious. I actually read them, and then I told people in the video. I didn't say the name of the ladies who wrote the game, but I pretty much said that they wrote it, and that they're idiots, because they are. That was like, I've seen bad video game bios before, but it's just like they were corny, that's why they were bad. Like, this was just... These people have such a huge problem. Did you guys see what they said? What the writer lady said? They said if you have a problem with this game, you voted for Trump. Did you guys see that? Before they privated their Twitters? They said any type of opposition for this game means you're far right. They said that. That's how deranged these people are. Even if you live in... This is a thing! Even if you live in another country, If you disagree with the story or killing Batman or any of the choices they made because they are better than you, because they're feminists, go feminist, then you are far right. They said that. This is the company Rocksteady has turned into. Do you know how mental that is? And they're trying to discredit because a couple WB shill influencers praised this game to death, that it was like the best thing since their next contracted game, which will be coming in a couple months. Whether they end up working for Square or wherever they go, they're going to say that game's amazing. And they'll drop Suicide Squad, like, you know, because that's what they do. They're hype channels. That's what they do. They go from the next game to the next game to the next game. Whatever company they can, you know, do their hype train for, that's where they're going to go to. Most of them are going to migrate to the Wolverine game and do the exact same thing they did for Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. It's a pattern with these channels. But that's besides the point. The funny thing is, they're trying to discredit any type of discourse with the game, and that's wrong, as well as they're trying to throw shade at Metacritic when I don't even think they realize what Metacritic is. It's a conglomerate of review scores from all over the world, and a place where people can come and find out what the rest of the world thinks of the game. And I guarantee you that most of the world is not run by our political sides, whether Democrat or Republican. So they cannot have the same mindset of somebody who's red-pilled. What they have is common sense, which is a problem for American, like, Sweet Baby Incorporated writers because they hate America, obviously. But you cannot generalize an entire population of gamers under, you know, a political party because we're gamers. We're made up of all types of political affiliations. We have a problem with your game because your game sucks. And you need to learn that, and you need to improve, and you need to get better whatever your next venture is. You can't go and victimize yourself and blame the boogeyman for your problems. You made those choices. You tried to do those creative things. Cool. Live by the sword. Die by the sword. You did that to yourself. Just because you get called out, it means, obviously, the general gaming audience did not appreciate what you did. Goes with the territory. You know, when you make these extreme choices, that's what happens. You know, you can't just go and point the finger at people and say, because you don't like this game, you're part of that far extreme group. Even though we're part of the far extreme left, just don't look at us. Look at them. Look at those people over there. They're crazy. Don't look at us. Don't look at our crazy.
Just you guys? Pity.
Blah. But again, it all makes sense with these people. They never learn. I'll tell you what, if I ever wrote a video game, a superhero game, and people said stuff like they didn't like my work, I would ask them, I'd be polite and be like, cool, what didn't you like? And then I would explain, okay, this is why I chose to do this. You know? I wouldn't be like, how dare you question my godhood of writing? Even though this is my first video game credit. How dare you? Ouch. Because I've butted heads with people over canon and stuff like that. For the most part, I respect what they have to say. But, you know, I always back up my stuff with arguments. Well, orchestrated and constructed arguments, and, you know, point A, point B, point C. Kind of like in a timeline. Sometimes it gets a little wordy, but I do eventually, you know, prove my point. It just takes a while, because I have a lot of ground to cover. Which, some of my videos, I've seen some people have the attention span of TikTok, like watching some of my documentary videos. They're like, why did you just tell us in the first 2 minutes? Why all this context? So you learn something, dum-dum. Also, it's called a recap of previous events in order to actually prove the constructiveness of my argument. Duh! Why else would I do exposition and explain things that happened before when talking about future events? I'm showing why it doesn't work. My gosh. Sorry, just replying to some comments in my head from some haters. Boink. Of course I make long videos. I have a lot to say as well as I'm trying to educate people.
You're all going down.
If I didn't, because here's the thing, if I didn't make long mini documentaries when I go into discussing like really intense Batman topics or tearing down the Suicide Squad story and stuff like that, like if I just go outright and say I hate the story and I don't actually explain my points and reasons why I didn't like it, I mean that's a very easy argument to refute. But if I actually have concrete proof and a well, like, you know, fortified argument, as well as like a layer of showing people like a timeline of events of blah, 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 and doing this and that, it's very hard for them to topple down my tower. Instead of just getting to the point and being like, I don't like this because blah, blah, blah. There's a whole lot of reasons why, just because killing Batman is not the only problem with the game. It's a big problem, but the game has way more issues than that. That's just like the cherry on top. That's like kind of like the last thing before you see those old cartoon characters where they're a tea kettle and they blow their top. Like, that's the last thing before fans go boom. Over the course of the game, people are building and building and building and building their dislike of it. And then you get to that, you know, climax moment, and then they go boom. But the thing is, they've been steaming the whole time, putting up with the nonsense and the bad writing and all this other stuff. So by the time you get to Batman and Superman at the end of the game, you already hate the game. You might enjoy playing the game, but the story is like making you like turn into a Legion of Doom member. You're just like, what? You know, it's not just like people play the game and immediately they start hating it, which is their argument on Twitter, as well as the WB shills, meaning influencers. I don't mean you guys. If you like the game, cool. I'm literally talking about people that are making videos and making bank, and they're defending the game and getting hundreds of thousands or 70,000 views. They're literally making almost $1,000 a video, like, you know, to shill. Those people, those are the ones I'm talking about. That's what they're getting from all of this. And in reality, they probably actually don't like the game, but they won't tell you that. Because it would go against, you know, the hype that they've been building. And even if they don't like the game, they're going to still give it a favorable score. I doubt they'll give it a 60 or a 50, like Metacritic. Highly doubt it. I'd be surprised. I'm not used to seeing hype channels actually do character growth as humans or as creators. They tend to stick to the same pattern like most Sweet Baby writers. Which I hope to God they don't get any more writing credits, because heaven help whatever franchise they work on next. Because it will not be good. Oof. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. I've been seeing colors, but I've been, I've just been talking a lot. I will read the super chats in a second. I'm sorry. Wait till after I finish this map. I'm so sorry. I thought I've been seeing colors, but at the same time, I'm old, so I see a lot of things on my peripheral vision sometimes. Which, I'm still amazed. I beat the Flash no problem, and the only villain the only bad guy I struggled with was Green Lantern. The Batman fight wasn't anything to be scared of. The only annoying part of it was when you were putting the canisters together. That's the only part that, you know, felt a little annoying, and it was kind of reminded me of, like, Batman doing the canisters in Arkham Knight, but not handled as gracefully. Just kind of, I don't know. When you're fighting the big giant bat shadow thing, I mean, just machine gun him with King Shark. It wasn't that hard. It was interesting and cool. But to me, I mean, it felt like so many things we've done before. Everybody was praising the boss battles, but, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. It felt like the boss battles to me were like out of Gotham Knights and not Arkham. It felt like one of the villains felt like I was fighting Mr. Freeze. Another villain felt like I was fighting, not even Batman. It didn't even feel like a Batman fight at the end of the game. It was just like those weird villain fights in Gotham Knights. It didn't feel like an Arkham fight. Like, with, I'll give you an example. When you fight Mr. Freeze, you actually have to change up your, you know, your whole arsenal of how you attack him. Like, you have to strategize. I was hoping something like that for the Flash or whatever. Most times you just shoot people. I understand it's a game about guns, but, you know, the only thing I struggled with was shooting Green Lantern's constructs. That was it. Because it was like, he had all these constructs around, and I ran out of ammunition, so I was just kind of running around like, oh my gosh. Because it had been so long that, you know, I picked up ammunition, I forgot. So, I'm dodging Green Lantern left and right as he's shooting me, and it's like, oh my gosh! And, you know, I randomly stumbled on some ammo, and I was like, yeah! Then I started shooting the constructs again, but for a good, like, 3 minutes, I'm running for my life. Because I didn't want to fight him again. But it didn't have, like, those... You know how, like, Arkham Origins and Arkham City both have, like, some really cool boss fights? Namely Mr. Freeze and Deathstroke and stuff like that. Like, oh, what's her face? Not Killer Croc, give me a second. Miley Cyrus's... No, not Cobra. Chameleon, no. Crap. She Copperhead? No. Yes? She's supposed to be Copperhead? That's a DC villain, isn't it? Anyway, the Miley Cyrus fight is, you know, basically just like another, Ra's al Ghul thing with, like, tripping out, you know. It was Copperhead? Okay, it was. Alright. Alright, so let's read these super chats. I'm so sorry. Holy crap. You guys are amazing. Thank you. You might not hear me because I'm away from the microphone, but I will read these. My mic is... I have what's known as a shotgun microphone. So, like, I have to get up to the computer. I'm going to try to keep the mic here. Hello. And I will try to read these as best I can. Here we go. From... Roni? Is that Roni? R-O-N-E. Companies avoid hiring fans so they can twist lore. Yes, I agree with that to some regard. I agree with that. I believe that companies don't hire fans because they over the past like 5 years or so, they see us as toxic. And also, like, they don't even hire comic book writers anymore. Rocksteady specifically, after Arkham City, they didn't work with Paul Dini again. They wanted to hire a in-house writer. And that's what they did. Which, I still think Septon Hill is not quite as good as Paul Dini, but he did a pretty good job. I do give him credit for that. I didn't like his Harley Quinn's Revenge DLC storyline that he wrote, but his Arkham Knight one wasn't too bad. It wasn't to the same caliber of, like, Paul Dini or, you know, a really famous DC writer like Chuck Dixon or something like that, or Grant Morrison, but it still worked for what it was. And Rune wrote again, there's a video from a chick who did an interview for G4, and they asked her, why should Batman be canceled? She couldn't believe that was even asked. Yeah, I mean, they don't like Batman. I've heard about the G4 casting from a friend that was asked to be a part of the new G4, and he said no. And he did collaborate on that. So yeah, basically the question was, which was funny at the time, they said, why should Batman be canceled? And the correct answer, in order to get the job, is because he's rich, he's powerful, and he's white. And he's unrelatable. Those were the 4 things you were supposed to say back. And then they would follow up with another question. What character would you use to replace Batman? Or what character, you know, they would just do all these weird pop culture references, but it was mostly like against characters like Luke Skywalker, Batman, things like that. Yeah, that was the new G4, not the original. The original G4 was fun, but I was much too young to work for them. Okay, from Simon. Luke, I just finished Suicide Squad. My blood is boiling with how they dealt with Bats and Kevin. The least they did was thank Kevin for his work at the end. Yeah, I don't like what they did with that, though. Like, it's like they punch down on his character the entire game, and they make him, you know... he's disrespected not just when he's shot in the face. The Batcave scene where they're going through all of his stuff, like they're, you know, fast forwarding because they have the attention span of children. Like, they only needed to do that once, and it would have been funny. Then it just becomes mean-spirited. Their constant, like, chatter about Batman and all his accomplishments in the game, and Like, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but there are numerous parts of the game where Hack and all these other characters are making fun of Batman, like stalking people, and they're saying how unhealthy that is, and, you know, those kind of stuff, those are author inserts. Those aren't actually how the characters feel because they're scared of Batman. They're not actually, like, your typical, like, Twitter pro or whatever. That's Twitter dialogue. And so when that stuff happens and they were saying stuff about Batman, I did mention it sometimes when I heard it, but for the most part, on my TV, I have the audio very low. And then what I do, the reason why I'm talking over a lot of the character banter is I do not care for it. So I would turn my TV down very low, and I would only turn it up when the actual cutscenes happen. So the reason why I stayed sane playing the Suicide Squad is I didn't hear a lot of the character banter. I heard enough of it, and I was just like, I'm just going to talk over it because it's stupid. And also, I mean, the Suicide Squad banter, for the most part, they're overlapping dialogue with aliens and all this other stuff, so it's just very confusing. And with a person with ADD, it got to the point of irritation where I was just like, either I'm going to mute it, like, I'm either going to mute my TV, or I am going to, like, go in and actually turn off the banter. I came to a point where I almost did that. I didn't do it because then you guys wouldn't hear it at all. But for the most part, I do talk over the banter, and I'm not sorry about it, because I had more intelligent things to discuss. So I did do that. All right, next person. From Prometheus. I'm not a great writer, but I would have had the Suicide Squad follow-up be Batman Beyond, so it would have its moment in the sun with Will as Terry McGinnis. Will, it might be hard to get Will as Terry McGinnis. They tried to get Susan to reprise her role in Justice League, but they gave the part to, I think, a Middle East woman is actually Wonder Woman. Susan was the person that they decided to bring in originally, but they ended up bringing in someone named Farhara or somebody who is the voice of Wonder Woman. She sounds similar to Susan, but it's not Susan. So I don't think you would get Will in the lead role as Batman Beyond anymore, unless something changes in Hollywood. I don't know. I'm not to be that guy, but you'll see him in Crisis on Infinite Earths. He'll be back to reprise his role, and hopefully he doesn't get erased from existence. But he'll be back for that. Silver Surge says, Green Lantern gets teleported away by Brainiac as the Suicide Squad is distracted. That's why the ring didn't fly away. I want to agree with you, Silver, and I think you're a really cool guy, but I literally saw the gaping hole inside of John's head. And, you know, at first I didn't think it was there, and then Diana kneels next to his corpse, and I could see... I actually zoomed in on my equipment, like when I was making the video, and I can see there's a big hole in John's head, like right above his eyebrows. There's a gaping hole with a little bit of blood. So, I mean, he got shot. Like, there are people that in comic books that can survive a shot to the head, like Nightwing, but he got shot, like, on the side, and it just, like, only messed with a part of his memory. It didn't create, like, this huge vacuum in his head. Like, there's a good portion of John's... If this was, like, a real M-rated game, there would be brain splatter all over the place. Now, Sweet Baby wouldn't do that because they probably couldn't stomach it. They'd probably be like, ugh. You know, they'd have gag reflex stuff. But he has a big gaping hole, and there's a little bit of blood around his body. Like, if he got shot in the chest, totally. I would say, yeah, he could come back to life. But I just think it goes to poor writing. Now, because of that, because of these fan theories, I think that they can backpedal and make the Justice League clones when they start to lose a substantial amount of money and support. I mean, the game is already so low on Twitch right now. Like, there's barely anybody playing it on Twitch. That's very telling. When it first came out on the 29th, there was anywhere between 90 to 100,000 people playing it. I saw it drop all the way down to 25,000. Like, and that's all over Twitch, people playing it. So, that's not good. And thank you for the first super chat from Silver. Then Prometheus came back. Would a Deathstroke game work? It seems okay with the free system to work with, similar to Arkham. I agree with how Deadshot is supposed to be. Would a Deathstroke game work? If you made the game like Metal Gear Solid, maybe. But you would have to find a very talented writer to do it. I think they could incorporate like a Metal Gear Solid clone for for Deathstroke. Make it very military-esque and, you know, have it be kind of like an origin story for Deathstroke. And have him turn on the military. Maybe have a little bit of, like, you get to see Deathstroke, like, at the beginning, and then he's telling a story to, like, maybe young Jericho or something. That'd be kind of cool. You could get away with that. I think that would work for Deathstroke. Like, those type of, like, stealth, military-esque, like, Metal Gear things. Maybe even throw in a tank as a joke. Because we call him, most Arkham fans call him Tank Stroke as a joke. Another super chat for Prometheus, thank you. So because I want a decent AAA gaming experience that I enjoy, I'm Republican. I want to play games for fun to enjoy the amazing games. I never thought politics with Arkham, but the sequels, yeah. But with the Arkham sequels, yeah, they constantly reminding stuff. Yeah, that's because their idea is to create division by people. If they can divide you based on your politics, they can control you. That's all it is. They don't want people to... If you have, like, political differences, they want you to be enemies. That's what communists do. It's they want to create animosity, and they want whatever small thing that they can use to pit you guys against each other and basically kill each other, or, you know, argue until you're blue in the face. That's a version of control for them. That makes them happy. Like, I know my fan base is made up of all types of walks of life and all type of political affiliations, and the most important thing that I always want to pass on to you guys is that you all can be friends. You all can be civil and nice to each other. You can all get along. You can work together, you know? Heck, even some of you can marry each other, you know? Your political differences shouldn't divide you as people. It's just a part of life. It's not something to control people. Next one is, remember Hogwarts Legacy? Did they work with Sweet Baby 2? No. There is no credit by Sweet Baby Incorporated for Hogwarts Legacy. They did not. There's rumors that they did stuff with Gotham Knights, but it was very small. That they don't actually have a credit. It's just rumors. It's just people that used to work at WB Games Montreal say that a consultant agency worked with them after Scott Snyder got the boot. I finished my book, so I've been really busy. Sorry. No worries, J-Bat. Congratulations on your novel, or... I don't really know a lot about books, so I don't know what to say. But that's really awesome that you became a writer. Congratulations. And I wish you nothing but success. I hope your book does well, and, you know, that you enjoyed writing it, and that you are able to write your next book. Because I can't write a book. That's awesome. Very proud of you. I'm actually an independent. I'm, like, in the middle. I saw war coming on both sides, and it's like, neutral! If I have to become centrist, I'll become a centrist. I don't like politics. Anyway, speaking of our... We had a democracy thing today. What did the vote say? What's going on? You guys want what? You want Nightwing. Really? We only have one problem. I don't have any more Nightwing, I don't have any more Nightwing PNGs, so I'm gonna have to get very creative. We're all out of Nightwing pictures. Let me see, I'm going to Google. Let's see what I can find. Maybe Disco Nightwing. Nightwing Disco Arkham PNG. Do they actually have like a mod somebody made? Oh my gosh, that's pretty close. Oh wait, no, that's art. Why did they never give us the Disco Nightwing costume, or even the 90s Nightwing costume? I always thought the 90s Nightfall Robin was actually pretty cool looking. The ponytail was a little weird. I didn't like his first costume. His first Nightwing costume was kind of lame. But his Nightfall one was interesting. I mean, he didn't get it in Nightfall, but I saw it a lot in Nightfall. What can we do for Nightwing? There's no mods. There's an action figure? Is there a statue? Do we have a statue? Nightwing, 90s, costume, statue. I'm just putting it together the next stream. Sorry, guys and gals. I'm a little slow. I didn't know Nightwing was going to win the poll. I really want to use that to trick people because I'm mean. Clickbait. Where's a good one? Maybe I'll talk about 90s Nightwing tonight. Where is a good picture? Where's a good picture? Ah! Nobody made a statue? I'm hurt. I'm upset. They made a disco Nightwing, but they never made a Nightwing statue. Rude. Who wants disco Nightwing? No one. No one wants disco Nightwing. There is no... Ah! That might do it. Could try this one. But I hope you guys had a fun discussion. I can't end this stream until I get close to, like, actually setting up the next stream. Because, I mean, you guys voted. Actually, I'm going to end the poll now, because I'm making the thumbnail, so it's already been decided. Ta-da! Good job, guys. Democracy in action. We're a republic on this channel. Okay. Batman Challenge, PSD. And we're getting rid of you. I'm looking forward to playing as Nightwing, except I'm not very good at his challenge maps. I found a picture, but it looks really hokey. So just bear in mind. And I'm only going to... Actually, that doesn't look too bad. If I do some... Amber taught me all the Photoshop tricks that I know, because I am self-taught. I don't know how to use Photoshop. I never went to school for it. I went to school, like, when Photoshop was first introduced, and I failed my Photoshop class. The reason why I had to do Photoshop, and I had to do all these weird art classes, is because I wanted to be... I didn't want to do radio forever. I wanted to do something else. And they made us, back in the 2000s, we had to take all kinds of weird computer classes and art classes just to take, like, website design and other stuff that wasn't really necessary. Alright, this looks ridiculous. This is stupid looking. You can tell this is an action figure. You can tell it's a freaking action figure. Ah! I actually have that figure. I have this Nightwing figure somewhere. It's probably in the box, because I don't remove stuff from box. NRSB, do not remove from box. Nah, that looks bad. You know what? It's good enough. I will mess with this on the break. But here's your Nightwing picture. Be gentle. It's not very good. I'm gonna have to find a better picture. It looks... You can tell it looks so bad. Oh gosh, it looks like a child made this. I don't like it. I don't like this at all. Don't like this. Woof. Woof! Nightwing Extreme. What is this, is this number 4 for Nightwing now? I think it's number 4. But anyway, you guys are really cool. I had fun talking with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and I hope to see you guys in 15-20 minutes with the next stream. I have the Nightwing picture now set up, and it looks terrible. Like the action figure, like I'm gonna need to find a statue of Nightwing, because that does not... That figure is so dated. That's from like the 2000s. That's a very old action figure. Woof. It's not like McFarlane quality. I don't even know if they have a McFarlane Nightwing figure from the 90s. Like with the... You know what I'm talking about? Like the yellow and blue. The yellow, like... He had this weird, like, armored emblem on him. He looked kind of funky. Some people call it the achy breaky heart era. And, like, it was always lame that we only got 2 costumes for Nightwing. This was it. Animated series and this guy. Like, they could have given us more costumes. I would have paid for them. Maybe you guys would have. I don't know. Okay, guys and gals. Thank you for the super chats. You're all breathtaking. This channel, like, just... You guys rock. Majorly. Super chat. Super chat. Super chats. Questions. Q&A. Stream end. 139. Stream over. Okay, so what's going to happen, guys and gals? You'll be redirected to the Nightwing stream. Nightwing stream will be starting at 11:45-ish. And I'm going to go grab something to drink and eat because I have only had one bowl of cereal in the past 4 or 5... How many hours have I been doing this? 5 hours? Something like that. Alright, peace. See you on the next one. Nightwing won the poll. Find a better picture. How can you not have a picture of the 90s statue? It's such an iconic costume. Ugh.